Good morning, everyone. I'm going to lead our opening. It's going to be a hymn, but it's more of the opening song with our multi-gen choir. We have our experiment, the grand experiments that's starting today with some kids and some extra people who are always welcome to come and join the choir the first Sunday of every month. So if you like what you hear and you're enjoying what we're doing here, it's very similar. There's nothing very exposed that you'll have to worry about. But let's turn to number 368. We'll sing it together, and I'll lead from up here. And if you are a low voice, you can sing this bottom part is, now let us sing, 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 sing. Now let us sing, 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 sing. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Now let us sing to the power of the faith within. And Reverend Kristin just gave up like that. You can do that on the rest with that. Let's hear the lower part, okay? 1, 2. Now let us sing, 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 sing. Now let us sing, 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 sing. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Now let us sing to the power. Here it comes. Faith within. Excellent, good. Let's go through it, and we have 4 verses. We'll start, and go ahead, and those who want to know the melody on the top, just sing it, and by the second verse, you'll probably have it. Let's do both parts together. Ready? 1 and 2, and now let us sing to the power of the faith within. Now let us sing, 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 sing. Lift up your voice. Sing to the power of the faith within. Sing to the power of the hope within. Sing to the power of the hope within. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Sing to the power of the hope within. Now let us sing to the power of the love within. Sing to the power of the love within. Lift up your voice, be not afraid. Sing to the power of the love within. Sing to the power of the joy within. Sing to the power of the joy within. Lift up your voice. Big one right here. Sing to the power of the joy within. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Silver Spring. My name is Preston Mears, and I am this morning's worship associate. My pronouns are he, his. I'd like to welcome all guests or visitors in the congregation today. Jim Street. Oh, or somebody else. Ah, there, okay. It's not Jim. Mary Beth, thank you. Thank you. Mary Beth is here to answer your questions about our congregation, both for those here in the sanctuary and those attending the service on Zoom. This morning we begin a month-long sermon series on the theme of courage. And today's service is about the courage to forgive. Most Sundays, the children can choose to leave halfway through the service to go and play. But today we're looking forward to having the children here with us for the whole service. If you have a child between 6 months and 5 years old, they are always welcome here in worship. But we also have a nursery downstairs where they can play during the whole service. Each Sunday, we broadcast the service live on Zoom for those who aren't able to join us in person. And we take time to greet one another here and afar. We will begin by greeting those on Zoom. So if you would, please, everyone here in the sanctuary, please turn to the camera to your right and to wave to those joining us virtually. Now, if you're joining us, hey, hello. And if you're joining us today by Zoom, it's your turn. So please turn to your camera on and wave so those in the sanctuary can see you.
There they are.
Hey. The third way we greet our neighbors is for those on Zoom to greet one another in the chat, and those here in the sanctuary to get up and say hello to each other. In a minute or two, the music will start, and that's your cue to go back to your seats and sing the opening hymn.
There's a number 21. For the beauty of the earth, for the splendor of the skies, for the movement of earth, over and around us lies. Forth of all to thee we raise. Number 21.
Good morning, everyone. Do not leave your cares at the door. Do not leave there your pain, your sorrow, your joys. Bring them with you into this place of acceptance and forgiveness. Place them on the common altar of life and offer them to the possibility of your worship. Come then and offer yourself to potential transformation by the creative process that flows through you and all life. Come, let us worship together. My name is Reverend Kristin Grassel-Schmidt. I have the privilege of being minister of this congregation, and it's now time to light our chalice, symbol of our free faith, and to reaffirm our congregational commitment. Please rise in body, voice, or spirit. And please join me in saying the words on the screen. May this light warm our hearts with love and caring and guide us in the ways of truth. As we gather here for worship, we pledge ourselves to the endless search for truth, to the right of each to believe as mind, heart, and conscience dictate, to accept the responsibilities this freedom commands, and to implement our belief in the essential worth and dignity of every human being. Won't you please be seated, and Michael's going to lead us in our chalice song. So a few days ago, our Jewish neighbors and friends and family celebrated a holiday called Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. And just a few days from now, they will celebrate the holiest day in all the Jewish year, Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. Now, atonement is just a really fancy word for saying that we're sorry. Righting a wrong, making friends again after we have hurt someone. Another way of thinking about atonement is that it's the things we do to ask for forgiveness. Yom Kippur is the day that the Jewish people come together to ask God's forgiveness for the ways they fell short in the last year. And while we don't observe this holy day here at UUCSS, we know that many of our members and friends and neighbors do. And we certainly believe in saying sorry when we've done something harmful and forgiving others when they apologize to us. So in honor of Yom Kippur and the start of our monthly worship theme of courage, today's service is all about forgiveness and the courage it takes both to ask for forgiveness and sometimes to give forgiveness. Our service today will unfold a little bit differently than usual, with songs and an interactive story woven together. As we prepare for the first part of the story, I invite you to stay seated and join in singing together. The words to the song will be on the screen. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit, draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit, draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit, draw near. Spirit, draw near. All right, so as I said before, today's service is interactive. So every row of seats somewhere on the row should have an envelope, and some rows should have a pair of scissors, okay? Now I'd like whoever finds that envelope to take the yarn that is inside. Awesome, you found it, good job. And to take one end of the yarn, awesome, you're on it, and to pass it down the row, okay? So we're gonna have strings of yarn stretching all the way across the sanctuary. So we have it, it's starting, some of them are starting, okay? And while you all are doing that, I am going to start telling you a story, okay? So just stretch it all the way so everybody's holding a bit of the yarn in your row. Now, many generations ago, rabbis used to teach their communities that our relationships to one another and our connection to the holy or the sacred is like these pieces of yarn, okay? Throughout our lives, we are connected to the human family and to the mystery of life and to all that is.
Michael got tangled up.
Oh no. All right. We can get tangled up, right? With all that is sometimes too. Okay. Like I said, many generations ago, rabbis would teach their communities that our relationships to one another and to the holy are like the yarn, like the thread. Throughout our lives, we're connected to all that is, to all of the animals and the plants, to one another, to the sacred. But when we do something hurtful, it is like the yarn gets cut. It's like that thread between us and everything that is, and the other people in our lives get cut. So I would like whoever has the scissors to cut the yarn in between each person. So each person just has one, short piece of yarn. Okay? So while we're cutting the yarn in pieces, I'm going to ask a couple questions. How does it feel when someone hurts you? Just shout it out. Feels bad. It makes me sad. Upsetting. Sometimes you can feel kind of alone if someone hurts you, right? Angry. What were you saying, sweetheart? Good. Okay. Well, I'm sure I could imagine a scenario. How does it feel when you've hurt someone else? When you know you've hurt someone else? Bad. Can make you sad. Guilty, right? Sometimes we feel guilty when we've hurt someone else, especially if we didn't mean to do it on purpose. Yeah?
There's both guilt and shame.
Guilt and shame, right? Sam? You need scissors. Okay, all right. Gotcha. Okay, so as we go into our next song and move into our joys and sorrows, let's keep thinking about what that feels like, right? To hurt someone else, to be hurt from someone else. The interesting thing, I think, is that it kind of feels similar. Whether we hurt someone else or they hurt us, the emotions can often be the same. All right, so we're going to remain seated and join in singing hymn number 391, Voice Still and Small. Invite you now into a time of quiet for personal reflection or meditation or prayer. If you have suffered a deep loss in the last year, I invite you to stand or raise your hand during the silence so the congregation can bear witness to your grief. Let us now enter into a time of quiet together, grateful for the sounds of young life all around us.
In this time of storm and sorrow and joy and repentance, I offer you this prayer by Reverend Dan Schatz. In these days of reflection, our thoughts turn inward. Who am I? Who will I be? How will my living further a sacred love? We ask and we turn and we ask again. How have my actions affected other people? When have I caused pain to another? In what way will I make amends? We ask and we turn and we ask again. How shall I live with the discomfort of responsibility? How shall I forgive others? How shall I forgive myself? We ask and we turn and we ask again. In the turning and in the asking, we find a deeper truth and a greater love. It is a sacred love, and to this love, once more and again, we turn. So all is not lost once the yarn and our connections to one another are cut. So how can we reattach our pieces of yarn to one another? How can we do that, y'all? Tie it together, right? Tie them together. That's right. And so the rabbis taught that when we say we are sorry, when we atone for the ways we've missed the mark and we promise to do better, our connections to ourselves and to God are tied back together. So now, did anyone notice what happened to the yarn when we tied it back together? What happens when you tie the yarn back together? So tie the yarn back together, and what happens? Does it get longer or does it get shorter? That's right, the yarn gets shorter when we tie it together. Our yarn got shorter. And so it was the teaching of these wise rabbis that as we acknowledge the ways we fall short in this life, each time we seek forgiveness, the process of binding our connections back together actually draws us closer to one another, closer as a community and closer to the holy. So now I invite you to take a moment and the yarn in between each person again, so that everyone has a length of yarn to take home with them. So I invite you, if you like, you can wrap it around your wrist and then invite your neighbor to tie it onto your wrist to make a bracelet, to remind yourself of your connection to others and to the holy, and the power of forgiveness to bring us all closer together. So again, I invite you to take a piece of that yarn, and if you like, wrap it around your wrist and have your neighbor tie it there as a bracelet to take home.
So as we tie our yarn as our reminder of our connections to one another and to the sacred, and the way that saying sorry is like tying those connections back together after harm has been done, as we do that, I invite you into a time of prayer and singing. We are going to be singing number 1037 in the Teal Songbook. The words to the song are very repetitive, and they're going to be on the screen. But this is, so after each line of spoken prayer, I invite everyone to sing the response, which is the same every time. The words are simple. We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love. The choir will sing it once through for us, and then we will all sing it together, and then we'll begin the prayer. Right. remaining silent when a single voice would have made a difference. We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
For each time that our fears made us rigid and inaccessible,
we forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
For each time we have struck out in anger without just cause,
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
For each time that our greed has blinded us to the needs of others,
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
for the selfishness that sets us apart and alone,
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
for falling short of the admonitions of the Spirit.
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
for losing sight of our unity,
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
For those and for so many acts, both evident and subtle, which have fueled the illusion of separateness,
We forgive ourselves and each other. We begin again in love.
Love.
As you can see on the screen, there are many ways to give your gift to UUCS. UUCSS. Got it. If you're here in person, you can also place your offering in one of the offering plates as it's passed around during the music that will begin in just a moment. May our hearts grow as we practice generosity together and as we help keep the dream of a better world alive. The offering will now be given and received with gratitude.
Shama Kole
We are so blessed here, aren't we? I'd now like to invite Catherine Buckler forward to do our announcements for today.
Good morning. I'm Catherine Buckler, and I am a member of your board, and my pronouns are she and her. Our church is not only an organization that puts together these services, we are a vibrant community of volunteers and staff, a member of the Unitarian Universalist Association, and part of the global UU denomination. Today we have 3 announcements. If you haven't already been to one, we hope you will stay for the focus group after today's service over in the community hall. After a 20-minute presentation, everyone will have an opportunity to ask questions and give feedback and about the future of UUCSS. If you have to leave right after the service today, there will be several other focus groups to choose from in the coming week. If you think of UUCSS as your congregation, your input is important to us, and we hope you will come to a focus group. And you can find information on the dates of those in an all-church email. Our second announcement is about how you can help get out the vote ahead of November's elections. In partnership with UU The Vote, our Defending Democracy group has several ways all of us can help encourage people to vote, especially in areas where voting is traditionally low among marginalized voters. Whether it's sending postcards or letters, phone banking, I could take this off, I guess it would help. Phone banking, working the polls on election day, there are ways all of us can pitch in. Check out the October Uniter newsletter in your inbox or visit the UUCSS, or you can find the newsletter on the UUCSS website. Our third announcement is from the Rainbow Alliance. Want to extend your summer vibe just a little bit longer? Rainbow Alliance invites you all to a Bring Your Own picnic on October 16th, right after the church service, in the grassy area between the sanctuary building and the fellowship house, right over there. We will provide drinks and desserts. Bring your own lunch and a lawn chair, and we hope to see you there, weather permitting. Thank you, and those are all our announcements.
Please join me in the words of the chalice extinguishing. Carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again. Our closing hymn is hymn number 201, Glory, Glory, Hallelujah.
To the beginning. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Since I laid my burden down. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Since I laid my burden down.
Won't you please be seated for our benediction? Can we just give some appreciation to our amazing sound and audio-visual folks? That this is the first technical difficulty had with our very first service, combining Zoom and in-person leadership all at the same time. I think we're doing pretty dang good. I don't know about you. Yeah, we're doing pretty dang good. All right, are we ready? We're getting there. All right, Reverend Caitlin, can you say something?
We have felt the sweetness today of being in community with each other.
We have turned to each other once again in love and understanding and taken a moment to lay our burdens down.
May we keep asking the questions that deepen our lives and our connections with each other.
May we continue to do the work of healing, of tying the knots that draw us closer together again. Our worship now has ended and our service begins.
Our postlude will be together. Let's see the slide if we could. We have Hebrew words and English translation. I'll wait for the slide. Yeah. There it is. Lovely. I hope everybody can read that. So I'll give you the pronunciation first. Hine matov. You can do that. Hine matov. Umanaim. Shevet achim. Gam yachad. So we're going to do it many different ways, and I'll just do a call and response. So I'll sing something, you can sing something, and it gets a little more complicated as we go along. But you can stay with the very first one if you want to stay on to that, and that's fine. There's many ways to enjoy this. So let's give it a try. So. Now me. Hine matov. Umanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Excellent. Give yourself a hand while she keeps going. The klezmer is still going. Let's do that all together. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam ya. Again. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Excellent. Just like they say on the twister, you want to go faster? The second part goes like this. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Take a breather. Just try it, and here we go. 1, 2. Sing with the choir. And Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Again. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Cool, yes. Here comes the third one. Not as hard as the second one. 2, ready, go. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Here we go. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Good. Now we're just going to pick any one that you remember, and we'll do it all together. The choir has all 3 covered. Ready, go. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. Yay. You've done well. Shalom.